Good evening, and welcome to a brand new episode of Monday Night Therapy on Coronation. I'm Minnie Hunt, and with me, as always, as always, is Fred Sacco. Welcome, Fred.
Hello, how is everybody tonight?
I'm good. How are
Good.
you? Are you feeling better? I know you were sick last week.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm still just tired, but all this Husker news just has me just so full of vim and vigor that I just, it's hard to sit still. Not
Okay,
really, but
what is it that got you all vin and vigored? Was it men's basketball?
that was pretty cool. That's exciting. I'm not a basketball fan by trade, but they look for real, and it's exciting. They play good defense, and hit some threes, and they're gritty, and so yeah, that's exciting. Happy we got Danny Kalen back.
I
Makes our
know.
quarterback room like pretty darn good, and glad we got a D line coach. Some people aren't super thrilled because they don't get the resume, but his defense has had a lot of sacks the last couple of years, and there's some continuity with him and Oryx. So a few things to be excited about.
Well, I was worried about that because he's not a big name, right? Coming from Miami of Ohio, he's coached at South Dakota State. He's coached at even Rutgers, but not a whole lot of big names. And I got news for you. I did a major deep dive today
Oh
on our
no.
new defensive line coach. So I'm excited to share all that information with you guys. And by the way, if I'm sure everybody here knows, men's basketball is 16 and 0. There's only 4 teams total that have that record right now. So,
It's wild. Yeah, I think they're rated number 8th overall, which is awesome. And yeah, Rostovsky's right. Baseball practice, I feel like funny, like I'm climbing a rope in gym class. So yeah,
it's
that's exciting
baseball
too.
too. I had no idea. Look at this. Yes, Dana, we are going to be doing a huge deep dive. Let's see who else is here. Gary's here. Jerry, I know that's your buddy, Jerry. Thanks for being here. James Boardman, he came in with this. Malachi Coleman has transferred to Wisconsin. 3 more Big Ten schools on his punch card, and he gets a free sub.
Yeah, probably. If he stays within the old Big Ten West, does he get like a full foot long, or does he just get a 6 inch still?
I
I'm just
don't know.
asking. I don't know.
That's a good question. We'll have to have the rule book in front of us in order to get that answer. Vince Watson's here, and he is breaking the news that Dylan Raiola is a duck. He says, wow, he has already perfected the waddle. Gonna make a perfect duck. I know who he's talking
Yeah,
about.
Highlander meatball sub for me too, definitely.
And David Matney's here, and Beetle B. Hey, everybody, and Justin Raji. Yay! All right. So, okay, where should we begin? Let's
Start with
let's
that
go ahead. Let's
D
go ahead.
line coach if you want, because you have all the information on him. I know next to nothing about the dude other than what 58 sacks in the last 2 seasons for his D
Mm.
line or something. That's might be
At San
right.
Diego State or
Yeah, I might
South
just be
Dakota State, excuse me.
making shit up. Yeah, I don't know.
No, you're right, 52 sacks.
Okay.
Um, okay, so I wrote down some quotes. I watched some really old interviews, ones where, the microphone wasn't very good and it's windy and you kinda can't decipher what they're saying, but it's a lot of fun to get to know our new defensive line coach, Corey Brown, okay? He's coming by way of Miami of Ohio, and he's replacing Terry Bradden that we let go at the end of the season.
Hmm.
He worked with Rob Orich that you already mentioned at San Diego State or South Dakota State, and he will focus on the interior linemen because Roy Manning is going to be coaching more of the outer edges. Um, so I watched some videos in which he's teaching the basics of defensive linemen, like a move. Chop, rip, roll out drill.
Mhm.
Are you familiar with that?
I've heard of it. I've never seen it in practice, but I know what you're talking about.
Well,
Sounds kind of like
apparently
how Dylan probably eats food too, but that's a whole
apparently
other
it's
segment.
successful.
Hey, Greg. Greg's in the chat.
Oh,
Got to
hey,
acknowledge
Greg.
Greg. Don't be a jerk to Greg. Anyways,
Okay.
back to the rip, trap, roll, or rip, chop.
Yes.
Yeah,
Chop, rip,
chop.
roll out.
Gotcha.
Because I was reading an article, one of their opponents commented on how fast their defensive line is. Not just, the linebackers and the secondary, but that the defensive line is also quick. And I thought that was really interesting because I don't know if anyone has ever said that about our defensive line.
Not this past year, no. Um, Again, some of that I think was scheme, but and it could have been Bradden's coaching too. You just don't know.
Mhm.
But yeah, and High Mountain Guy kind of said it. I kind of wondered too which choice down this might have been. I think he's probably what, maybe third, because we wanted that Elijah Robinson guy that I think ultimately went to LSU. And then I heard there was somebody from the Texans in play, and then the guy that we got now. So it's like I don't even care. Just as long as it works, I don't whatever.
It doesn't matter. And let me tell you why. We're looking at the position coach. We're not looking at the team. The position in which this guy has coached, he's actually coached up NFL players, players that went to the draft and then were drafted and became NFL players. When was the last time we had that?
Well, I don't know. Well, I guess we had it with
Terry Bradden? No,
yeah,
not
well
with
no,
Terry Bradden.
or Tony White, and gosh, I've already lost his name.
Mm,
Knighton, pork
mm,
chop or ham
Knighton,
pie
yep.
or whatever they called him. Yeah.
So his keys, one of his interviews, is to come off the ball hard, good hands, and good pad level. That's what makes a good defensive lineman. And he, okay, so bear with me as I read my notes. He says, or Miami was the top red zone defense in the league and forced 23 turnovers. Miami also produced 29 sacks despite featuring several new starters along the D line. They were the top defense. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah,
Top defense like overall or just top for
in their conference.
oh, okay.
I think
Okay.
they were 5th. I want to say 5th or 13th, somewhere in there. In the top 10, way
Okay.
far away from us.
I
And
don't mind it because I think he's I think it's like we need like a guy that is like he gets people the pros. Yes, we need somebody that is more college schemed. Whereas I think maybe Braden coming in might have still been more NFL minded, and maybe this will help because this guy's still at the grassroots of college football level of like this is how we play the game here, build you up, versus a high end approach that maybe Braden had coming in from the NFL. That's kind of my thought. Although Knighton came from the NFL too, so tomato, tomato.
yes. So to give you a little bit more of a reference, so he's from Houston originally. He played ball at Iowa.
Ah,
I know, right? That's a little hidden gem. After that, he played for the Steel Wheelers, which is like a small football team
oh, that's
in
just the team that Greg follows.
yeah, no kidding. So, he's also been a grad assistant at Notre Dame, as well as, he had the, defensive line at Rutgers, and everywhere he's been, literally, it feels like they have had a top defensive line. So,
I like it.
um
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
there could be other better choices or what people might think is better. At this point, who knows? And the fact that he's got continuity with Oric, the fact that everywhere Oric's been, he's built something up. This guy seems to do the same. I'm willing to, be optimistic about it. Couldn't be any worse than what we had last year.
this is true. He also, I would say during his entire resume, the only kind of lull was during 2020. And it's interesting what you can find on the internet, right? But they talked about how involved he was with student athletes during the 2020 COVID season, that he had even helped athletes become oh, what is that? Where the honor all academic
Oh, okay.
honor
Yeah, like
athletes.
all conference, all academic.
Yeah, yeah. So, I think that's really neat as well. When he's not coaching, he actually is still investing in relationships and trying to make a player a better person all around, so that was
Yeah.
really neat.
And that goes back to what college football used to be, is developing players, and not even players, but just people and men. And seems like we're getting away from that with the nil era, where it's just like get them in and get them out, produce and get your money and leave. So yeah, maybe we can get back to some of the good old days stuff, if that's even possible.
Yeah, it might be. It might be, I don't know. I have some thoughts on that. We'll talk more about that when we talk about the portal. One other quote that I wrote down from a newspaper article, and this is from when he, was the defensive line coach at South Dakota State. They said, "L he linebackers get the most tackles. Secondary get interceptions, but the front four is the engine that does the grunt work and disrupts opposing defenses, and that's why they were so successful. They Sandy or s I keep saying San Diego State, but I mean South Dakota State.
Hmm.
They went 14-0 when he was there. Again,
Oh,
another top defense.
yeah. I mean, it all sounds good on paper till we get going, but yeah, I think he should be all right. And we're getting pieces in place. I'd like to see some larger guys on that D line, but and I get that too. Oh yeah, just South Dakota. That's
Thank you.
kind of the thing. I wonder if we couldn't get him before the portal time. I mean, were they that busy where we couldn't like make the hire? It just seems, because it's like it wasn't like he was on a playoff team or in the NFL. So I don't know what he was doing, but I mean, we got him, so that'll help. We quickly snatched up a couple of D linemen shortly thereafter. So
Yeah.
we got that Northern Iowa kid who's really good. Can't think of his name. Starts with a B.
Brendan Black? You mean
No,
Iowa
no,
State?
no. Iowa Western Community College D lineman. Um,
Oh, yeah, Jashir or no,
nope,
that's the
that's the
Pitt
Pitt
that's
kid
the
is
Pitt
Jashir. Yeah, he's the
yeah,
freshman.
okay, D lineman. Oh, here it is, Andy Ber Berberija?
That's the guy. Yep,
Berberija? I'm
close
gonna
enough.
I'm gonna take a stab at this because there's a J at the end. Berberija.
I don't think he's Italian, but that's okay.
We're
Uh,
going with that.
but yeah, so he's a good get. The Pitt guy is young, not our Pitt Snipe Husker, but the Pitt D lineman.
Yes.
He was like 6'2", 270, which isn't huge, but I think he's a tackle. Um, and we got the UCLA dude, which I find that a little questionable just because we pushed their D line around, but whatever. Yeah, it's they're building it. I'd like to see some larger bodies in there, if nothing else.
Yes. I would too. But even, you know, I liked the quotes that I read about the defensive line for the schools that he was at, not necessarily having the most elite talent, teaching them. I mean, every single reporter's like, it's all about the fundamentals. And for him to get all these, you know, MAC um, conference, all conference players awards, to to be able to accomplish that on the defensive line without very much talent sounds like it's pretty good to me. So,
Yeah. Well, it sounds like he might be a teacher, and a guy that gets them built up on fundamentals and then just lets them rip. So yeah, I'm sure there could have been somebody better out there, but I think he'll be all right.
okay, Pitt Snipe Huskers here. We were talking about the guy from Pitt, Josh Sear Whittington.
Yeah, and I looked him up. He didn't have a lot of stats, but he just was a freshman, so he must not have played a whole heck of a lot. He had like 12 tackles, one forced fumble, but again, he's youth, and seems like he's a big, strong dude. So, and Pitt, they're still an okay conference. Pitt, the conference, not the Quad City Steam Wheelers of the Arena League.
That's it.
Oh, that's where the Steelers moved and got relegated to. Okay, cool.
That's where our defensive line coach played after Iowa.
Nice. Well,
Yeah,
that shows that you still love the game if you're going to go play arena ball,
right.
like you're not just giving up or
Yeah.
transferring all over the place, but that's another story.
So, okay. We also got the two players from San Diego State, Owen Chambliss, the linebacker,
Mhm.
and Dwayne McDougal, safety.
I
Those
like
guys.
those picks. That Chambliss, wasn't he the Mountain West Defensive Player of the Year or something like that, or honorable mention? And he had some pretty good numbers from what I remember.
Yeah, he did. And did you see the video that the Huskers put out with those two guys
No,
when they
not yet.
visited?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's a good recruiting tool. It's these, two players visiting Nebraska for the first time on their official visit and kind of what that looked like with Rob Orich and just all the things that, Nebraska has to offer. One of the things that they said they snuck in there, one of them says, I've been to visit quite a few schools. I've even visited USC and they have nothing like this. Kind of like in the shadows under his breath, he said it.
Good. No, that's good. I like all that stuff. It seems like it's not super hype. It's just, Rostovsky said adorable. It
Adorbs.
doesn't hurt. And again, I like the continuity because they played for Oric. They'll know his system. They can help the other guys learn it more quickly, the terminology, the way things go. So it can't be a bad thing for both of them coming here. And that Chambliss sounded like, again, like he was a playmaker. And they said he's an every down guy too, not like he's only rushing the passer. He's only in for the run. They said he'll be out there the whole time. So that's good.
I love that. So he's a real athlete.
I would hope so.
Yeah. So another person that we got from UCLA, because you already mentioned Anthony Jones as the edge guy that we got. And I always say his name wrong. I say Quasi Gilmore.
Oh, but it's spelled like Gilmer, isn't it? I think like Gilmur, or is
I
that
don't
the
think
right
that's how you
term?
even say his first name.
Oh, I don't know.
Like, I think it sounds like Quasi. Kwazi.
So you're saying he's crazy, but like Elmer Fudd.
Yeah,
I think I'll go with
exactly.
quasi until I hear differently because quasi
Because I've
just
I've
sounds.
heard announcers say quasi,
Mm.
and I've heard other people say quasi. So I don't know. Anyways, we know him because we played against him when we
Mhm.
were at UCLA, and I was impressed with him. I was only impressed with two players on their entire team. No offense, Anthony Jones. I just didn't pay attention to your defense, but I liked Quasi Gilmore. I thought that he and Nico, I'm leaving, actually made some good connections. He made some good catches that were, 50-50 balls.
Well, for a run-heavy offense, it sounded like he came on near the end of last season, like he was actually he had 10 catches, I think, against USC and did pretty well down the stretch. And when they beat us in Memorial Stadium, I believe he had a touchdown here.
Last year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I saw a picture and it said that he's already scored a touchdown in Memorial Stadium. So I
Oh,
assume that's him.
right on. I didn't know that. I'll have to I don't like watching that game. It was a heartbreaker of a game.
Yeah, I already tuned that one out. I forgot all about it. It was ugly.
Mhm, mhm. So we got Will Hawthorne, whom we tried to recruit last season, if I'm not
Mhm.
mistaken, and he's coming from Iowa State. Then we got a defensive back, Jason Shiggs from Towson,
Mhm.
which is do you know
That's
where that
in
is?
it's in Maryland. It's where the head coach of the Maryland Terrapins came from.
Okay.
So it's Towson or Towson. It's out there. Sounded like he was decent too. I don't know too much about him, but and honestly, we do need to get some. Oh yeah, Gary Pierce. I like the big linebacker we got from San Diego. I don't know if he will play a middle linebacker, but I bet he'd be a good one. I'm not sure. I thought he'd be on the outside, but it's hard saying. But too, with the secondary, we kind of do need guys because we are 4-2-5 and
Mhm.
whatever configuration of defensive backs that'll require. And we're losing a handful of guys, right, from the secondary. So it's probably
Yeah,
good that we
Willis
pick. I keep saying D lineman, but we need probably some defensive backs too.
Oh, I think I think defensive I may be wrong, but it seems like every transfer portal that I see, defensive back is the highest, position that's in there.
Well, and not to, you know, denigrate the spot, but a lot of people have said it. It's easier to get defensive backs, wide receivers, running backs, even than it is to pull giant linemen just for the fact of the sheer size and skill that you need for those two line positions. So that's when we could probably sit back a little bit and kind of have our pick of different guys and not have to break the bank on a safety or a corner or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's what it really amounts to because if I'm not if I remember correctly, we got Willis McGahee back, who entered the transfer portal, and there were,
Mhm.
like, 2 other players that kind of entered the transfer portal, and then they would, you know, commit it back to Nebraska, um, which is really interesting because, it's like we were saying last week, that entering the transfer portal is a risky business,
Mhm.
and now, there was a position for them on the roster, maybe that had to do with Rob Orich being the new defensive coordinator, maybe he saw something in them and
It could very well be. And, again, you got guys that leave, they come back. I think I heard Shavers didn't they like redo his deal? I don't know that he ever left, but they redid his deal or whatever. McGahee's coming back. That'll help. It's good to keep the guys we have because again, familiarity and whatnot. And
yeah.
Jackson Johnson's here.
Hi, Jackson.
Tell your friends at Publix about Jackson Johnson and his show.
Yes. I'm surprised he's here. He had a busy night. He was telling me about his night.
Yeah.
Um, and then Husker Chuck is here. Hi, Husker Chuck. And there's a visitor from X, John Fields. He was talking about Quasi Gilmore had a very long touchdown
Okay.
too. So
What year
thanks.
is he? Is Quasi?
Let's see here. Does Quasi is he has 2 years left.
Oh, okay. That's good. Well, again, got experience, got time, unless he decides to leave like everybody else seems to want to at some point. But That's good. Yeah, I mean, and again, playing in the Big Ten, you got that level of experience. I think we're kind of a good mix of these MAC and mid-major type teams, and then and you forgot the most important position. You got
I
that long
didn't. I was
snapper.
saving it for best for
Oh,
last. The
oh man,
best
I
for
stepped on
last.
Minnie's bit.
It's okay. Go ahead.
No, I you got all the information. I was just saying we got a long snapper. So
Oh, that guy.
yeah,
That guy. Yeah,
yeah.
we got a long snapper, which is interesting. But I like this idea of having two long snappers in case one is off, has an
Mhm.
off night. I think it's a good idea to have a backup long snapper just in case, because we know, I mean, that one season we went through 3 long snappers.
Mhm. Well, and that was we were in the middle of not being able to figure out anything on special teams, and they couldn't figure out who was the best 5, 6 games in. So yeah. Oh,
Hello.
from Thailand. Nice.
Yes, the lonely bull in Asia, JJ. Welcome.
And yes, Tony, we do play Indiana. Well, we'll go out on the field against Indiana. I don't know if we'll actually play them, but we'll be out there with them.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Everybody talks about how difficult our schedule is next year. You don't know because teams can change drastically in one season because of the transfer portal.
They can, but I'd probably bet big money on the fact that Indiana will still be Indiana, Ohio State will still be Ohio State, Oregon will still be Oregon unless they got a new transfer quarterback playing that can't move and get out of his own way.
Would you quit
Um,
ruining all my surprises?
that's what I do. I ruin things, and why we can't have nice things, Husker Nation.
Yeah, why can't we?
It's what I do. It's in my nature, the frog and the scorpion. But go ahead. I'm not on format. I'm just rambling.
It's okay.
Oh
What are
yeah,
you drinking?
Greg said it was our wasn't our portal long snapper last year a senior. So isn't he going away, or do we have another one?
I think we have one more year with him.
Okay, I thought Gallic was a one and done, but maybe I. Oh, said he's trying for another year. Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, I really think it's a good idea just to make sure we have the long snapper situation taken care of.
I'm fine with it because it's
Okay,
killed
Husker
us in
Chuck
the
says he
past. So yeah.
that's a bummer. He failed to get the
Uh,
extra year. Darn. Okay. Aaron Rostowski. Did he? Well, poop. Um, well, we have special teams taken care of. We have some linemen coming,
mhm.
offensive. We have some defensive players. There's one position group that we never ever seem to address.
Haven't heard anything about running back so far. I don't know if that's what
Yes.
you're talking about or yeah.
Yes. Ding, ding, ding. That's it. And I know that we have been developing guys. I get that. Is anyone else concerned that we don't have any running backs that we're taking from the transfer portal? I know we still have 4 days left of the transfer portal.
Honestly, I feel like they're just it's probably something they'll address, but they hit the ground on some of these other great players and potentially waiting for Charmar Brown. That would be something.
That's
I
who
don't
we
know if
were
that's going
trying
to
to get
happen, but
last year.
yeah, it's hard saying. But I think also they're kind of slow rolling the running backs. I think they want to nail down some of these line spots first. And again, running backs and skill guys, you can probably take a little bit of time on, and you know,
Didn't Charmar Brown go to Miami?
yeah. But I think he's going to probably leave or something. I don't know. I've heard his name a bunch for some reason.
Huh.
Can't run the fucking ball without running backs, which we don't have.
That's true. But,
Some
we
people
do
think
have
they're sold on the guys we have. I don't know, I guess, but they just didn't have a lot of time to play, you know? That's kind of the only thing, but so I think you either bring in an experienced guy that is supposedly way better than what we have, and he's the starter, or we just go in with what we have and see what happens.
Yeah. Well, okay, so Husker Chuck brings up this point. He is at Miami, and since their season isn't over, we can't take him yet on Charmar Brown. Their season's not over until Monday. So after Monday, the transfer portal is actually still open for him. There's a caveat in the rule book that says that after the last game is played.
Oh, for those specific
Mhm.
players. Okay, yeah, because I thought it
Yep.
closed on the 16th.
It
So
does. Yep.
yeah. Well, it's a good thing Dylan got through it because he only had a few more days, and I don't know if they greased him enough to slide him through because he's rather wide. But so it's good that he made it through. So I didn't know that thing about the poor. It makes sense though because those guys shouldn't be penalized because they're
Right.
playing for the championship. So that's cool.
Yes. Okay. Okay, Gary does bring up this point, and I agree with him. He says, "I like the running backs I saw in the bowl game. Darn shame Holgerson decided to stop playing." You think it was Holgerson?
I don't know. I I kind of blocked the rest of that game out to be honest. After we went down halftime, my mind just went elsewhere. Greg gets it.
Well, I
Good thing he didn't slide like a 2 state short or something and end up in like or 1 state short and end up in Idaho. That would have been a pain in the ass.
when Dylan said he was entering the transfer portal, I don't know if you guys remember this. And Fred told me not to say it like this, but I'm just gonna. I said, very first thing I said is he's going to go to Oregon. I said it then, and I'm here to say I told you so. Because because I did tell you so. Also, I feel like he was going to go to Oregon before, wasn't he? He kind of played
Well,
with that idea.
he didn't. I mean, when he was out being recruited, he probably had mentioned them. He didn't recruit to them, or didn't commit to them like he committed to everybody else, but they probably did look at him at some point and like they would. He was the hot shit, one of the hot shit recruits at the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
double O Dana, no offense against Dylan, but when his last time Oregon had a quarterback that was not mobile, last I could think was
Mhm.
Ryan Leaf's brother. And that was a number of years ago, or way back to like Tony Graziani, like in 93 or 4 when they played Penn State in that Rose Bowl and got killed. That was that long ago. But yeah, I don't know. I will give you the I told you so many. You got it. So
So
everybody
did
give her
Husker
a
Chuck.
card. And Husker Chuck. That was two.
I just feel like the Polynesian connection with Oregon is really a big deal. And there's nothing that matters more to Dylan than family. And, Hawaiians, Polynesians, they think of each other as family. So he'll have an offensive line that's good at blocking for sure.
Well, they'll need it because he can't do anything. And that's what's still strange to me because I know it's not like the super basketball on grass Oregon that has been out there for years, but still their quarterback's usually doing some zone read stuff and moving around. And I'll give him one slight bit of credit on it, our end, is I feel like maybe there were times he could have run, but he didn't because he was probably coached to not run. Be careful, don't get hurt. You can't play if you're injured, that kind of thing. So you get the paralysis of analysis, and they're going, should I run? We did the same thing, different staff. We did the same thing to Adrian Martinez,
Yep.
tried to keep him back there as a pocket passer. His instincts to run, you freeze up. There's that, but I don't. I still don't see a universe where he's just this kick-ass player because it seems like he needs everything to be exactly perfect around him at all times to do well. He's never stuck around anywhere to bear it to fruition. It's a year here, 2 years there. And if he thinks this will get him to the NFL, it's like they're going to question his ability to stick with it and deal with adversity. He can talk about it all he wants, but when it doesn't go his way, he leaves. So I don't know. That's my 2 cents. We all know what I think.
I know. Yes, you wrote an entire Five Heart Theater about what you
Yeah,
think.
I did. Could have been
And
a 10-heart theater.
if you've missed that, please go to last Thursday's Five Heart podcast. And about halfway through is the Five Heart Theater. And it's a little play that we put together that it was Fred's turn to write the script, and he did it on Dylan leaving.
It was all straight from the heart too. So
It was. And just to let people know, his views and opinions are his own, not mine. I don't always agree. But
Dylan's never going to see it. It's okay. He's not going to.
I hope not. Jeez.
That's what I said. What's he going to do? Have his uncle's offensive line come and not knock me over? Like, what are you going to do? Like, it's all in fun. But
It
also
was.
and just to add one more little bit to what I was saying about him, there's been, I think Jay or somebody in there had said, no thank you to us as fans or the university yet, which you don't have to do that. But he sure had time to go up there and have a photo shoot that's on ESPN that shows him wearing all the different sizes and shapes of uniforms, and one he looks like he's Walter White or something with some strange green Oregon meth lab stuff going on behind him and biohazard boxes. It's just very odd. So he had time to do that. So to me, it's all about swag and flash. And honestly, he would have been better suited to go play for Colorado than for us, because he produced next to nothing. Okay, now I'm done, Minnie. I swear. It's over. I'll let him go.
It's not my job tonight to defend Dylan.
Good.
It's not my job to do that anymore.
Just your job. You're right. You're right about him going to Oregon. So
yeah,
I'll give you that.
I'm just grateful that he decided to come to Nebraska and brought some recruits with him. So yeah. Where is Dante Moore going to go? This is the question Tony Walshin wants to know. So is Moore going pro? I mean, there was rumor that he was going pro from the beginning of the season, basically. And then he was asked after Oregon played horribly, I might add, against Indiana last week. And he said, I'm basically just taking this time to enjoy the moment, and I don't even know yet. However, here's the problem with this answer. The NFL draft, there are like 6, maybe 7 teams that desperately need quarterbacks. 3 of them have the top 3 picks in the NFL draft. So, and it's a pretty light draft class right now for quarterbacks. Of course, Fernando Mendoza will probably be the first pick, but it's very easily going to be Dante Moore if and when he does declare as the second pick.
That really says something about it. I mean, I know it was just one game and it wasn't a great game, his last game, but a lot of times it used to be if a guy had a bad game in the bowl game, it really crushed his stock, and then he'd have to come back or whatever. But now if it's a light recruiting class or like draft class, then, oh yeah, you got a super chat.
Hey, hi, Kobe. Muscle Man Michigan fan gives us $5. Thank you for your super chat. He says Dante Moore is going pro, projected number 2. He ain't coming back. Yeah, follow the money.
I'll follow the money, like Mike said up top. All we did was make Dylan a millionaire. Can't expect a thanks for that. It is kind of true. It's just like, I just don't get it. And somebody else said too, he could still make more money at Oregon, for crying out loud. I mean, you saw what Sorsby's getting for 1 year. I mean, good Lord.
That's what Huskers Chuck just said.
Yeah. Well, and didn't somebody, I know it's different conferences, but didn't somebody put Anthony Calandria's stats up against Sorsby's, and I thought
They were like
Calandria's
neck and
were
neck.
like, yeah, neck and neck or slightly better. And
Mhm.
I don't know about win loss and all that, but it's wild, and that's why I feel pretty good about our quarterback room, as everybody says. I hate talking about the certain room, blah, 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 but I feel pretty good about that. But yeah, the fact that a guy could make that much in one season in college ball now, that is just mind blowing to me.
Huh. It is mind-blowing when, especially when you're a Brendan Sorsby, because boy, did his career take some wild turns. Because I don't know if you remember me talking about him prior to the season.
Oh yeah, I remember. He had a full graphic of his, you know, handsome face up there.
Well, I said he's quite the quarterback. I know it's just Cincinnati, you guys, but he's quite the quarterback. He came from Texas, went to Indiana when, Cignetti became the head coach and they lost their other head coach.
Mm.
um, that's when he hit the transfer portal because Cignetti brought with him, like, his whole entire, you know, James Madison team. Um, then he goes to Cincinnati. He plays there for 2 years. He is gun ho about the team. Plus, their coach is a good coach. Then, after a great year at Cincinnati, now he goes back to Texas at Texas Tech for
Mm.
$5 million.
That shows how much the market can change. Because I think in Rule's first year, didn't he say something like the market for a quarterback was one?
Mhm.
That was a couple of years ago, 3 years ago now, and now we're talking five. I mean, and it's different grades of who makes what and level of skill, but I think Texas Tech is in that thing now. They're just going to they're going to do a little bit of the Cignetti thing where they're going to just get the best guy they can at certain spots, throw a shit ton of money at him and expect to win. And I mean, it's a bold strategy and it might pay off in this new version of football that we got.
I watched a reel, and I don't watch reels, but it popped up, and it was some guy talking about how Oregon still has more money than Corey Campbell, even though Corey Campbell's a oil tycoon. Oregon still has more money. So, it's just interesting. Everybody in college football either has a sugar daddy or wants a sugar daddy.
Yeah. And then those that don't somehow still, for now, like the Iowas, the Minnesotas, and whoever, can still eke out okay seasons. And that's right. This is a topic I've beat into the ground, but it's like we've had the resources and the money and allegedly the players, and it still looks like we're trying to figure out Chinese math out there sometimes, and we can go get rolled by a Minnesota or an Iowa who theoretically has less of everything, and we don't. So at some point, it's like we got to find a perfect marriage of scheme, the coaches, and the money to get the right people, and then fill in the spots and pull it all together. Right now, we're just kind of like, eh.
Tony says Texas is spending money like a drunken sailor this offseason.
I bet all those Texas schools are just. I mean, I'm sure you can see what they spend. They're gonna piss away so much money, and I just love it because ultimately they're not all gonna be in the conversation. So just keep wasting your money. I love it.
Well, honestly, I've discovered the key to winning. Do you want to know what it is?
I don't know, Dylan.
No,
Oh, good.
this is truth. It's experience. It's experience in coaching and it's experience in players. You got to
Mhm.
have veteran players. You're not going to win with freshman players, not especially not in the Big Ten. And I showed you guys the graph that I put together where we were the youngest team to play, like, the majority of our freshmen on our roster
Mhm.
in the Big Ten. So it it just I that along with, yeah, we have not had extremely experienced coaches, not at least for their positions.
Well, or the players. It's that everybody says it, the get old, stay old thing, and we haven't been able to do that. We kind of get guys and they leave early and different,
And that
yeah, and anabolic steroids that would do too.
that works.
But
I'm
I think
all for that.
they said it too about Indiana. Like most of their guys are old, like not old, but you know what I'm saying. Like they've been playing ball for a few years. They earn their way up, and then now they're going to get that money for a little bit. They're united in purpose on that team under Signetti, who's apparently a master motivator and great coach. And so that's going to be their formula, I think, is to kind of have some younger guys in the background, but always bring in older dudes to solidify the roster and just kind of roll with that. And now you can do it. You can spend the money and do it. Oh
That's
yeah,
how
Nebraska Rascal. Average age of Indiana starter is 23 years old.
there you go. I
I
didn't see
mean,
that.
yeah, that's a lot different than us. So
A lot different. That's exactly how Michigan won the Natty a couple years ago. They had because of COVID. See,
mm,
Harbaugh was a genius coach. I don't care what you think of him. He may be, a weirdo or just, a little eccentric, whatever, but he was a genius because he took advantage of a rule. And the rule was the COVID year.
hmm
And then he was able to get on his roster more graduates than any other team. And again, that's how he won. Experience. That's the same thing with Indiana. Experience. They have Signetti brought with him, what was it, 6 or 7 coaches that he had been working with for almost a decade.
and that helps. And that's kind of what we've lost a little bit here too. I mean, Rule had some of his people and some of his things, but we've flip flopped too much. And Jay says, yeah, winning happens when guys are committed to the team, play as a team, and are not out for themselves. Wistrom was talking about that. He was on Carricker's show earlier in the season, and he kind of said the same thing. He said, "There's no a lot, not completely, but he said there's so little of the we're together as a team. You play for the guy next to you." Is how it was back forever. And he goes, now it's like, play for the bag, the money, play for the notoriety, play for the swag and all the stuff. And it's like, yeah, that's lost. So yeah, you got to have the continuity of staff, which Signetti has. I mean, he's lightning in a bottle, and I cite him as being awesome and everything, but I know that's also an outlier. Not everybody's going to do it. Just like there was never another 7 Nick Sabans that rolled out back in the day. It's coach, scheme, staff, lightning in a bottle, catch it all in one shot, and you succeed. But I would just like for us to, I don't know, do something other than nothing. But we'll see.
Here's what happens. I didn't know about this drinking game, but apparently every time somebody says Signetti, you have to drink.
I can do that. I've been doing it the whole show. So yeah.
Oh, Gary, thank you for the basketball knowledge. I didn't know this. He says, same with our basketball team, a bunch of seniors who stuck around and learned to play together. Good to know. Yeah, they get to play tomorrow night against Oregon.
Oh, somebody mentioned it in the chat. They said, would Dylan dare show up at the game? I don't know. Is it in Lincoln or is it out there?
It's in Lincoln.
Oh yeah, no. He's probably doing more photo shoots and getting his hair feathered. Probably, working on his duck lips and all that stuff. Important things.
All the important things.
Except football.
I love it. Okay, and so we got Danny Kalin back from Virginia, where he, did get buried a little bit on their depth chart. He was a backup. He played a little bit this past season. Virginia was actually really good.
Yeah, they had a good year, and he had some numbers, and I couldn't believe that he came back, honestly, because I just thought, I mean, I'm sure it happens everywhere else. Guys leave and then come back a year later, but it shows that Rule probably, nobody burned a bridge. So that showed everybody's a grown up in the situation. But Rule also was probably honest with them at the time, saying, this is what we have. Maybe explore, because he said that. He said, I will tell people if I think they should explore or not. He might have told him, give it a look, and he did. And It didn't work, but him coming back here, I feel pretty good about the quarterbacks we have now because I mean, I can't say anything about that Gramstad guy, but he was kind of like, they said he was like a coach more than a player.
Mhm.
That other kid, the Davila, I don't know what was with it because I heard he was this supposed pretty good talent coming out of Purdue, but then everybody else said he was a project. So that was that. And then we had Latif and, what's his name that's at Oregon. So it's like now we have three guys, Calandria, proven starter, TJ, who's played, under duress. And now we got, Kalen back, who's got year of, experience out there in Virginia. So
And what's so interesting, you mentioned Calandria. I have to always look at his name before I say it. I'll get used to it. He also played at Virginia,
oh,
but
that's
not at the
right.
same time.
Yes, he did.
They're
Yeah,
like
yeah.
ships passing in the night, him
Hmm.
and Danny Kalen.
You're going to see so much of that nowadays.
I know. So they'll both be playing at Nebraska, probably, pushing each other for competition. I mean, Danny Kalen was a great quarterback coming. He's a local kid too. So
Hmm.
I'm excited to have him back. Great kid. He did a lot of recruiting for Nebraska as well.
He did. And again, it's nice to have the local people back. You can't get all the local guys. I get that.
Mhm.
It shows that, I like Greg. Maybe Danny wanted to be a Husker, but not a teammate of Dylan. Maybe Mr. leads the team onto the field was more toxic in the locker room. Well, he took a picture with biohazard boxes. So if there was nothing more telling than that, you know, way to disturb the shit, Greg. Good job. But
Uh,
honestly, I feel like we might have a more legit quarterback competition. I think they might just say open it up, even though it's pretty confident that Calandro will win. But I think they might just say let's let it all hang out and grade them and do it instead of. I don't know that we actually might have had that in the year prior or two.
I know you guys think I'm weird. I
No,
don't care. I know. I know. But I just think there's something to kids that men, excuse me, that grow up and decide not to like follow the latest trends. It's a trendy thing to get tattoos, and I always respect people who don't follow the trend, who can be leaders on their own. And I know it's kind of dumb, but I don't think Danny Kalin or Anthony Calandria have tattoos. I mean,
good.
I like that.
No, I think that's good. Shows,
Nothing wrong with tattoos if you have one, by the
Oh,
way.
there we go. Oh, Double O Dana said another zinger, Fred. I'm not sure what that was in relation to. Either something I said, or maybe that's something that Dylan just ate another one of. But um, yeah, no, I like the no tattoo thing. My old Taekwondo instructor in college said you don't desecrate your body. He'd always make fun of people that had tattoos. My dad always said he'd sand off a tattoo. If I put it on my arm, he'd take the orbital sander and take it right off. So
Oh,
between that and just plus I have like hair on my arms, so it's like a tattoo is just weird, but no, good for them for not having tats.
I
That's
think
good.
so. I think so.
Does Dylan have
Okay.
tats? I think he does.
Who, what?
Doesn't Dylan have tats?
He does.
I think he had like the QR barcode for like Raising Cane's right on his arm
Yeah.
for their
Yeah. That
menu.
was it. That was it. Well, our buddy Kobe gave us, I think, two
Oh,
more super chats.
oh, missed him.
Let's see.
Sorry,
This
Kobe.
one, Muscle Man, Michigan fan. Kobe, he says it's kind of like in college basketball. You don't see teams stacking star freshmen on their teams like Kentucky did back in the 2010s as much. Yeah, because I
Well,
think
you just can't. I mean, that happened in the NFL too after free agency after a bit. Oh, he's got another one. Oh yeah, the Kobe also said that's kind of the reason Kentucky couldn't beat Wisconsin 2015, even though Kentucky was clearly more talented. Kentucky had Cat and D Book, studs in the NBA.
oh, I know nothing about basketball.
Dylan has a Minnie Mouse tramp stamp. Vince Watson.
Does he? Does he?
I wouldn't know. I don't get that close, but yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yes, tattoos. And I am not here to preach on tattoos. I mean, I always compliment people who have tattoos because I think they're interesting. I love art. I love people who can express themselves. But I also live in a very artist type world. Um, to me, when you're an athlete, I don't know. I just think that you're trying to sell your brand and you want I mean, to me, I if I had a company, I would want somebody to represent my brand who was more, clean cut. That's all.
Oh, wow. Clean cut.
You know what I
No,
mean, Fred.
I get it. No,
Don't
I get it. But
don't
also, too, to me, it's like you really have to look at people's tattoos to sometimes get them. If they do the whole sleeve, to me, I see it. It all looks the same to me. And I'm not going to go stare at another man's arm for hours to figure out what's going on. So it's like, it means something to them and their friends and and that's cool. But it's just never been a thing for me.
Husker Tech says a friend of mine got a tattoo, ended up with a full sleeve. It's an addiction. It's true. And then Gary Pierce says, I want a bunch of temporary tattoos so I can change them up. Mostly Hanna-Barbera ones, the Stones. Um, temporary tattoos, kind of like the transfer portal.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Well, you think about that. They made a joke. It was an old commercial where the guy went to the Dolphins and then he got traded to the Lions and he already had a Dolphins tattoo, and that was like, oh, that was so wild and funny back in the day. And it's like some of these guys are probably going to get 4, 5, 6 tattoos of all the places they played. I don't know.
It's
I don't know how we
amazing.
got on the subject of tattoos, but
I don't know. All I know is we have 2 quarterbacks coming. Yes. And we're still looking possibly at a running back from Miami. Who knows? We might be looking at other players from Miami.
yeah, it's possible. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think we're done yet. I mean, we have a few more days, but aren't we also in like a quiet period right now? Or does that start tomorrow? There's like a 3-day thing where you allegedly nothing happens or you can't, you know.
Yes. My mountain guy says Minnie just wanted to talk about young men's bodies. Maybe.
No
Perhaps
maybes about that, but
that's why I'm here. Anyways, anything else that we
Oh,
missed?
not really. I mean, we covered all the portal guys. We covered all the
Oh, somebody mentioned
excitement.
one thing. Hold on.
Oh, yeah.
I started it is a comment from Gary, I think, and he says, something nope, Tony. Tony says, "Did you guys see that article by Heather Dinich about the playoffs expanding to 24?" Did you see that?
No, is it happening or is this just a thought on how it would look?
Well, she I don't know how, but she always seems to get the inside scoop. She's hanging around these people. She's has her ear to the ground. She breaks a lot of this type of news. But what it said was basically they're looking at the Big Ten is looking at agreeing to a 16-team playoff next season.
Okay.
16 team. And then if that works out in a couple of years to go to 24.
It's a
So
natural progression. I can
it
see that.
it is, but tell me this, Fred. With 41 bowl games, how is all of this going to work at the end of the season when we can't even get teams in to play the bowl games because of the transfer portal and the way it's set up?
Well, that's going to shave off a lot of those bowls that are the ancillary ones that they can't even pull 5 and 7s to. Those will just cease to exist. And the corporate entities that are on them will try and glom on to whatever games they can that are closer to the tournament. But also, I think I'd heard, I don't know how it would work, but I think I'd heard if they get to the 24, you're going to be talking maybe 2 home playoff games, for the seeds that, the home team. So something like that, I could see. So that would alleviate, because that's the reality of it too. If God forbid, if we ever made it and I wanted to go to see a playoff game, and we would win the first. So I'd have to go to, say, the Vegas Bowl if they got the bid, and go there to watch us play. And then we win that one. Then we go to the Peach Bowl. It's like we travel well, but good Lord, that would stretch even a Nebraska fan and our fan base to go multiple places. So I think even at 16, they might start putting more games on campus in those first couple rounds to alleviate the stress of travel, because even then you're going to get some half-empty stadiums. I think if you're trying to drag people across the country 2-3 times a shot, let alone if your team keeps winning, it's going to get more exponentially expensive to get there, and you're going to price people out.
Yeah. Well, it was interesting how many Indiana fans showed up in Georgia last week.
It looked like a lot. Like, from what I could see, I only saw bits and pieces of it, but it was, and that's predictable because that's the first time they've ever done it. And Miami could be undefeated, killing people, and their stadium would be like a quarter full. That's just how their football team is. It's like they don't really care.
I heard that the tickets for the national championship game in Miami this year are going for around like $2,000-$3,000 minimum.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. It's and just like everything else, that's now. Imagine in a couple more years, I mean, and they could say that you could probably get some cheapo upper deck nosebleed near the very end of the situation to probably get into the game, but
Yeah.
even then, you got to
Once
fly
the
in,
game
you got to get
starts,
a room, it's
once the
rough.
game starts and you're about halfway through the first quarter, tickets will probably go down half price.
Yeah.
So
Jerry Morrow said that the Indiana fans had a lot of money. They haven't been anywhere in years. That's
that's
true.
true. They've been saving, waiting
Yeah, it's like,
their
so yeah,
moment.
that's the pricing out of things. I mean, people are always going to go. I don't know where money comes from. I used to watch a lot of WWF, WWE. Yeah, I heard some of their big pay-per-view shows like WrestleMania. There were some tickets that were $40,000, 40,000 to get there. Like, but people pay it somehow. So there's a will, there's a way. But yeah. Ooh, Andrew Curtis says, does anybody think we're going to lose Eckler? God, I hope not.
No. He was also in that Husker video with Owen Chambliss and Dwayne McDougal, so that was good.
Yeah,
He
no,
gave those guys a big hug. They, came down to the weight room and he says hello to everyone and he gives them like that manly, like Eckler hug, the one where it's like it probably hurts a little bit.
that's a good hurt though.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully. He heard that USC offered him some big time money. Reported an insider on X. I'd still think he would stick with us over money because there's more of a tie. But maybe that's just me being a fanboy for Eckler.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Quit bringing us down, Andrew Curtis.
Yes. This is not a reality show, okay?
No, I would not be a part of that. Oh,
All right. Well, thank you for being a part of tonight, Fred.
definitely happy to be here.
And thank you, everybody in the chat. And don't forget to hit the like button, please. And join us again on Thursday for a 5-Heart podcast. And Aaron Rostowski says, I have a tattoo of my son that passed away at Stoke. He had the name of a Roman emperor, Trajan, and it looks like it's chiseled in my arm. See, tattoos like that to commemorate, remember somebody, I think are fantastic. I mean, that's what I think tattoos should be about is
Indeed.
family and I love the military tattoos. I think that's just, I remember growing up with seeing guys with, like, their Navy, whatever they were in the military tattooed on their arm, and those were the only tattoos I remember ever seeing growing up,
Back
and
in the
then
olden
became
days, yeah,
it became
military,
a trend.
biker gangs, or prison.
Yeah.
Then in
Yeah.
college, for people of us from the 90s, then everybody was getting tats and piercings, and it just blew up from there, but
Yeah.
yeah, Squirtle tattoo. Breaking news, Wisconsin blows. Film at 11.
Alright.
There you go, Tony.
And there you go. And go Big Red. Thank
Go
you,
Big
Fred.
Red. See you guys.